Hello everyone, welcome to the second season of Art Trouble Cast. The topic of today's episode is 5 contemporary artists you must know, part 1.
I think it's definitely worth knowing Andy Warhol because he was a total creator. He not only influenced art itself, but also the perception of culture as such in times of consumerism, which continues to this day. His works, a combination of art, advertising, and mass culture, became a symbol of the pop art movement that dominated the American art scenes in the 60s. The kind of pop art an icon artist, his life and he himself were full of contradictions and mystery. He was a showbiz star in the days before the internet. His words, "In the future, everyone will have their 15 minutes of fame," were prophetic, as evidenced by the social media. And I think he would be an influencer today.
There is also our favorite Warhol. You definitely need to know him. I again recommended the series based on his diaries, available on Netflix. An icon, equally iconic works of art. Here, I would like to point out that the Andy Warhol was not only a painter but also created very avant-garde films that are worth seeing. Of course, the videos will be listed in the description.
Interestingly, Warhol's films are characterized by the lack of a script. As he claimed, they were supposed to be a mirror of life and illustrate the real behavior of human actors. Some of the films last up to 8 hours, are amazing, but sometimes completely absurd.
Yeah, his paintings and films are a mirror of 20th century America. Another contemporary artist you need to know is, of course, Pablo Picasso, an exceptional artist, co-founder of Cubism, a colorful and charismatic character.
Mhm. The painting of the young ladies of Abigomi, created in 97, shocked the artistic world and initiated a new era in art. If only because the artist broke with a traditional perspective, creating a flat, multi-plan space in which figures seem to be in the foreground and in the background at the same time. Figures of women with geometric shapes. It was quite a shock for the audience.
Yeah, it's true. They may not have caused as much outrage as Modigliani's nudes, but they definitely made an impression. Picasso is an artist with a strong character and extensive painting skills. Most people don't know that Picasso had great artistry and painted geometrically because he wanted to, not because he lacked skills.
Yes, here you raise a very current topic among the audience commenting on art, namely that abstract artists cannot paint or draw, and they chose this direction because they want to be artists, but they cannot.
Yeah, another artist you need to know is Mark Rothko, abstract artist known for large canvases in intense colors.
Only large canvases with intense colors. This is what I mentioned a moment ago. The lack of any figurativeness that helps in interpretation was the still is controversial. And Rothko himself has repeatedly emphasized that he strives for his canvases to help people define their own feelings. And this is the key to abstract art, which is that the viewer is supposed to consider what he feels when looking at the painting, not what the author had in mind.
That's true, and although he was recognized by other artists, he remained in their shadow and made a living from art lessons. Certainly, in his person, we should mention the Rothko Chapelle, which he worked on before his death and whose dedication he did not live to see.
Another artist worth mentioning is Marcel Duchamp, whose work Fontaine is a converted urinal that challenges traditional concepts of art. Created in 1917 and reworked in 1964, it questions the necessity of craftsmanship in art and the role of the artist. Duchamp's work sparks philosophical debates about the nature of art and being an artist.
His Fontaine is one of the most groundbreaking and shocking works of art in history. A controversial artist, today his work would be considered normal once it was seen as true madness or a contempt for art.
I think it still arouses controversy and will remain controversial for a long time. Looking at the audience opinion on contemporary exhibition and works.
His works preceded the development of the Dada movement in Zurich. He coined the term ready-made to mean the use of a ready-made object as a work of art. His first work of this type was Bicycle Wheel, a wheel with a fork attached to a stool. His works are influenced by pop art, happenings, and conceptualism.
Okay, and finally, I would like to mention Frida Kahlo, a Mexican artist who, in her works, mainly portraits, deals with the topic of physical pain, especially in women. Due to the topics of her works, which include abortion, gender, and showing female nudity, she gave contemporary feminist art a new direction.
Frida's work is very characteristic. Even people who are not interested in art can recognize it. A painter with amazing biography, extremely honest in her paintings, often painting her own self portraits, a woman with strong character.
In 1983, the premiere of the film entitled Frida, Naturaleza Viva, which was a great success and aroused further waves of interest in the painter's work. At the same time, a biography of Frida was published by Hyde Herrera. The book became a global bestseller.
An artist who painted until the end the spay and the pain. An amazing woman whose biography and work must be known to anyone interested in contemporary art.
Frida once said about herself and her work, I paint myself because I am alone so often and because I am the subject I know best. I think that with this accent, we will end the first part of the podcast about artists worth knowing and encourage reflection. Thanks you for listening, and we invite you to check out more artists next week.